Welcome back, guys. So now we are going to perform lab on compute engine. So I am on my dashboard of Google Cloud. Here you can see that is my project. Now I'm going to create a compute engine. Just scroll down from menu and select compute engine tab. From here just go to instance, VM instances, click on it. So here you can see there's already one instance which is created into this zone. Now I'm going to create a new instance. You can import a VM image if you have already. Okay, you can refresh this page. You can start any instance which is created. You can reset your instance, that means restart your instance. You can stop your instance. You can terminate your instance, that means you can delete your instance. Okay, so let me click on create a VM instance. So instance name, this time I'm going to create a Windows, so win VM. This would be name for my VM. That is the available amount, available credit in my free tier account. Okay, and if you see here, that is the price, monthly price for my this VM, which will be changed. Okay, and that is hourly price for this VM. Now level you can consider like a tag, so you can assign a tag for this VM. So if you want, you can assign tag like is a key value thing like project Google. So this would be a label for my VM. I'm going to use this VM in Google project. So here you can see these are the locations, regions which are available right now. So you can create now due to COVID-19, less resources are available in few regions. So basically you will find you'll get outage. Okay, so you need to select correct region. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use here a US East one, so that the resource should be available for me. Now here region, then you need to select zones. So if you remember, zones you can consider as data center, individual data centers. So right now in this location, in this region, we have 3 data centers. So I'm going to place this VM into East 1C. Scroll down, machine configuration. So if you remember which kind of machine you need, general purpose machine, memory optimized machine, or compute optimized machines. So these are the categories. Now I am going to use general purpose. So in general purpose, we have series. So if you remember, there are two kinds of generation, generation 1 and generation 2. Okay, so whatever generation you want to select, you can select here. I'm going to use here second generation. Okay, now best part is if you are not getting any requirement here, requirement as per your project. Okay, like you're getting here 8 virtual CPUs, 8 GB RAM, but you are not getting requirement as per your project. So what you can do, you can use custom VMs, which is the best part here in Google. Okay, so here you can see we can select here. So by default you will get the minimum 2 cores. Okay, so you can upgrade to up to 16 cores. You can choose here. Memory, by default you are getting here 4, and minimum would be 1 GB, and 1 to 16 GB memory you can check from here. Let's check this. So minimum, maximum you can apply for 16 GB RAM. Okay, so you can easily customize your VM from here, or you can select a VM from here in shared core. To watch your CPUs 1 GB RAM, to watch your CPUs 2 GB RAM. So as for this testing lab, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use your shared core VM. So the pricing would be less. So you can see that is a pricing for me, hourly pricing and monthly pricing. Now scroll down. If you want to enable container, if you want to deploy container image, so you can select your container image option, and then you can deploy your container here. If you are looking for CPU platform and GPU platform, then you can select here CPU platform, and then you can add your GPUs. So as if you remember, we cannot add GPUs on shared core. Now here you can select your disk, bootable disk with image. So we are going to use here persistent disk. So click on change. You'll get the list of disk here. So now you need to select operating system, which operating system you want to deploy here: Windows, Ubuntu, SUSE, Red Hat, or CentOS, container based. Okay, Debian. Now as per our VM name, we are going to use here Windows Server. Okay, so in Windows Server you will get the list of images which are available right now. So I'm going with Windows Server 2012 R2 data center. Now that is the size of your disk, the bootable disk which you will get here. Disk type you can select from here. You can get standard persistent disk, that means the normal HDD, or you can choose here SSD. That is totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going with standard. Then in custom image section you will get custom images, like for if there would be any custom image which you have created. Okay, so you can choose your custom images. So right now in our project we don't have any custom image. Snapshots, so what if there would be any snapshots, so you can select your snapshots here. Okay, but right now we don't have any snapshots. Existing disk, so we don't have any existing disk, so through that we can deploy this VM. So now we have only one option, which is public image, so we can go for public image only. Okay, click on select, scroll down. So identity and API, so right now we are going to with the default service account, and if you want to create your own service account, then we will discuss into IAM section. Firewall, if you are going to deploy this disk as a web server, so you will enable HTTP or HTTPS traffic. Okay, so and then you will also install a web server service inside your VM, and you would be able to access your web application. Now in management tab, you can specify the description of disk. You can label, you can apply label to this disk, as we have already applied a label. Okay, you can apply a delete protection, so no one can delete this VM, so you can prevent an accidental deletion. So for this VM reservation, you can reserve this VM, okay, which you are going to use here. So automatically use created reservation. Metadata, so you can set custom metadata for your VMs. Okay, so which will be installed inside your VM. Now availability policies, so permittable, which is right now off. If you need a cheaper VM, then you can enable this option. So but again, if you see here, if you are going to use a permittable VM, cost much less but let last only 24 hours. So this VM will be all available only for 24 hours. So if you are doing any testing or development kind of thing, at that time you can use this VM. Correct. On host maintenance, so if your machine goes on host maintenance, so what would be the action? So action would be migrate VM instance or terminate VM instance. So migrate VM instance is recommended, so your VM will be migrated at that time. Automatic restart on recommended. If you want, you can off. Now just go up and click on security. So in security, you can see here, as we are using Windows VM. Okay, so if you want to use SSH key, public key, for getting access, so right now we are using Windows VM. So if you're using Linux VM, so for getting the console of those VM, you can do, you can apply SSH key also to that VM public keys. Turn on secure boot, that is totally up to you. Turn on TPM, turn on integrity monitoring. So these are the security shields which you can enable for protecting your VMs. Disk, so right now we have one disk attached with it, and which is already encrypted by default, encrypted by Google managed key. You can use your customer managed keys also. Networking, so in networking, this is the network address which we are using, the subnet. Okay, that is our is the network interface card. So that is our host name. If you want, you can change, or you can assign a new host name also. Sole tenancy, so right now we are using shared. If you need, you can use your custom, or your you can purchase a rented server also. So right now we are using shared, so that's why there is nothing, there is no option. So now click on create. So as you can see, VM is created here. Okay, that is internal IP address, that is external IP address. So let's click on RDP. So you will get RDP of VM on your Explorer, and you can manage your VM services. And for getting RDP on your local system, you need to configure firewall and you need to enable RDP port. One second. So we need to set username and password. So for setting password, we need to click on our VM. So if you see here, there's option set Windows password. Click on it. So this would be the username. If you want, you can change your username. Otherwise, just go with the default. So click on set. Now you will get a password here. You need to copy this password and you need to store this password somewhere. Now click on close. Let's go to RDP. Click on RDP. Just paste your password. Click on OK. So here is your terminal. As we are using shared code, so that's why VM is a little bit slow. So you can use that toggle menu and then you can use that menu as per your requirement. Now you can manage your this VM. Now you can see the settings of this VM. So you can enable a serial port. So if you will enable serial port, you would be able to manage your VM. You would be able to troubleshoot your VM during the startup. So you can see, you can troubleshoot your VM through serial port. That is your instance ID. That is your machine type. Okay. So CPU platform, zone, region, creation time, level, your VM level, that means tag of your VM, network interface card which you are using here, your network details. If you want, you can click on view details, so you will get the network details also. So that is your network detail. That is your firewall rule which are applies here. If you want, you can add more firewall rule also. Go back to your VM instances.